Hi, I'm Matt Christensen, Director of Impact Strategy and Responsible Investment at AXA Investment Managers. I'm based here in Paris, and our company has $800 billion of assets under management that covers a wide array of asset classes, roughly anything from debt, public equity, into private markets. And what I think is so incredible is that in my role as the person recovering impact strategy, I'm seeing quite clearly the societal expectations underway for our profession. As a fiduciary duty-led impact investment manager, AXA very much supports the operating principles for impact management, a set of clear market standards for how to manage investments aiming to create a positive impact alongside financial returns. Especially in this time of COVID-19, the impact investment field is going to be facing a crucial stress test as investors look towards a better, greener, and more resilient economic recovery. For our case study, we selected Principle 1. And Principle 1 is about how to define a strategic impact objective or objectives consistent with the investment strategy. I will summarize briefly how AXA Investment Managers' Climate and Biodiversity Fund has done that. We launched this fund in 2019, and the idea of how we respect the Principle 1 around consistency is really in the nature of how we're looking at investment returns and putting together a biodiversity focus on our impact approach. The Climate and Biodiversity Fund is deploying up to $200 million, and this is really focused on private equity, venture capital, project finance, and even private debt as a means to address increasing concerns on how climate change is threatening biodiversity. Therefore, our investment strategy is to invest in credible solutions around biodiversity loss and climate change solutions that can generate market rate returns while delivering intentional, measurable, and positive outcomes. Concretely, the key performance indicators that we are assessing as we do our investments are really around three areas. The first is on carbon dioxide emissions reduction. Second is on greater land and habitat conservation as well as improvements, in some cases remediation. And finally, how we can improve the income generation for farmers and their families. Let me provide one illustration that shows how our impact strategy and objectives are consistent with our investment strategy approach. In an investment we did related to forest conservation in Peru, we focused on generating strong financial returns while looking at three different areas around our impact measurement. Number one was the protection of 600,000 hectares of high-value ecosystems. Number two, the savings of 2.5 million tons of carbon emissions through natural sequestration. And finally, how to improve the income generation for 300 smallholder farmers and their families. All three of these are baked into the investment approach that we're doing, so they are very consistent and something that we're doing across every other impact investment strategy that we might have in place. In fact, during this entire period of COVID-19, we have continued to do investments for the Biodiversity Fund, and we keep in line and front and center Principle 1 as we're doing so to ensure that our impact goals are consistent with our investment strategy and that we have a measurable way to deliver that and monitor it over time. In summary, we believe that impact investing is already of high interest to investors that we meet. In a post-COVID-19 world, which we hope to be in soon, we are convinced that impact and the authenticity of impact will become more relevant. It will actually become an expectation. And towards that, these principles that we as impact investors adhere to them, adopt them, and show how we're actually meeting them is going to be an expectation and just part of what we have to do for making our investors pleased with the way that we're approaching impact investing. This is Principle 1 that we focused here, but we're excited to look at all the principles in concert over time to show our impact investor clients what we're doing to achieve them. Thank you very much.